Hey guys, Quentin here from mynameisyugioh, coming at you with an updated version of my Macros Monarch deck. I suited it a little bit better and it plays a lot faster now. I've been hearing that the Frog Monarch actually was a third or fourth, and this is my answer to that. I think it's awesome that Monarchs are coming back, but I think this is a better version of the deck that can just completely shut down your opponent because of Macros and D. Fisher. So let's get into it. Right off the back, we got the 3 Caius, easily the best Monarch. When he's tribute summoned, you can banish an opponent's card, and if it's dark, inflict 1,000 damage. You can even banish himself, inflict an instant 1,000. So that's those 3 guys. And then we have 3 Ryzas. This is your answer to big beaters or Ixies or Synchros or just even back rows to send them back to the top of the deck. And then we have 1 Dark Dust Spirit. This card is when it's tribute summon, destroy all other cards on the field, and I think it's during the end phase this card was normal summon, return it back to your hand, and you could almost go on an infinite loop with this card if you keep getting material to tribute for him. We'll go into the tribute material a little later, but this card's pretty great. And then we have 1 Jinzo. This card's pretty good tech. It's great to just, if you know you're going to go for a play, get him out, stop the reaction of all traps pretty much, besides like Solemn and Judgment, all the Judgments or whatever, and yeah, he's pretty much just to help you lock in a play. And then for materials, we have 2 Cyber Dragons. You could just special summon them and tribute them. Pretty much that's what they're for. And then for our DD or our banished materials, we have 2 or 3 DD Survivors. This card is great when you have Macros or Fisher on the field. During the turn that this card was banished face up on your field, at the end phase, I believe, you could special summon him again. So if you have Macro on the field, normal summon, or if you have Macros on the field, get him out next turn or whatever, you can tribute him for Caius or Ryza, and then he will be banished. At the end phase, bring him back. Same thing goes for DD Scout. The only thing bad about him, it's not really bad or whatever, but when at the end phase you have to special summon in attack mode, and the only downfall is he only has 800 attack, but he's almost the same thing as DD Survivor. So those are your 6 DD tributes that just keep coming back. 1 D Alchemist or whatever you want to call him. Just to bring back anything that got banished on accident or whatever. He's really good to help you out. I have triple Battle Fader. It stops your opponents from OTKing, and it also works as a tribute material for you for your level 6s. 2 Cyber Valleys just for stalling. Your opponent won't want to attack into it, and it's a free draw. And it's also, you can also get 2 cards from it. And then onto our spells, we have 3 D. Fisher. This is one of the main cards that make this deck run pretty much. All monsters that are sent to the graveyard are banished instead. So it's a good card. It works with your DD cards. Then we have triple Soul Exchange. This card is pretty amazing. It's a free tribute for you. Get off your Monarch effects or your Jinzo or your Dark Dust Spirit. This also is an answer for XYZs, Big Beaters, Synchros. This card is great. It pretty much screws over your opponent, so always play 3 of those. And then to save your Monarchs or your tributed cards, March of the Monarch. This card is crazy good. I only play 2. I might play 3, but 2 is fine for now. Tribute summon monsters you can control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. You cannot special summon monsters from extra deck. That's the only downfall. But you don't do too much XYZ summoning or special summoning. One Monster Reborn, staple. Dark Hole, staple. Heavy Storm, staple. And a Book of Moon. This has like actually pretty good play. Say you tributed for a Caius, and they go to bottomless it. You can chain Book of Moon, and you can book your Caius. His effect still goes off because he was successfully tribute summoned, and because he's face down, bottomless can't search for his attack, so it doesn't go off. But you still get Caius' effect, and it'll work for it'll also work for Ryza, and I'm pretty sure it'll work for Dark Dust Spirit, but I'm not too sure. Then we have Allure Darkness, just for draw power, and you could do Lure, draw 2, then you could banish your DD Scout Plane, and then at the end phase, DD Scout Plane comes back. One Pod Duality, just for searching purposes, and you don't do too much special summoning, so Pod Duality is perfect. You can I almost might play 2. And then for our traps, we have triple Macros Cosmos. This is the main reason for the deck. This is why the deck exists. All cards that are sent to the graveyard are banished. And then we have 2 Torrentials, and that's it. You don't need a Mirror Force. I'd rather have Torrential just to get rid of all the monsters, and if you have March of the Monarch on the field, your Monarchs or your attributed monsters are safe from this. This is a great card. I'd rather play this over Mirror Force because I'd rather just destroy all the monsters before they get a chance to attack. And I don't like Bottomless, not in this deck particularly, even though it does banish, but I'd rather be able to target multiple monsters than just one. And then for the extra deck, you don't do too much XYZ summoning in here. It's all about mostly your Monarchs getting their effects off, but XYZ summoning does happen, so we're going to play triple Strike Bouncer. This is your main level 6 Ixies that you would go into. I would play 3 of them all the time. Because there have been multiple times where I wanted to go into another one, and I just didn't have it, and I only had 1 at the time, so I was like, hey, you know what, I'm going to put 3 in there because it could happen. This is the main XYZ. Then you have 2 Exabeetles. These cards are great. You pretty much can pop a card in the field. I have a Japanese proxy here because I don't have another English one, but I think the Japanese one looks awesome. But yeah, this is another main card you want to go into. Then if you kind of extinguish their main effects, you can go to a YuGiOh, which is just a good beater and has a, what is it now, battle piercing damage, which is great. Then another level 6 Swordbreaker, he has a decent effect. Number 25 Force Focus. Alright, and that's those guys. And then, because there are level 4s, we have Utopia, Utopia Ray, Blade Armor Ninja, just because he can attack twice, Cowboy to pretty much get over beat stick monsters and inflict 800 damage if you really need to, and Popple Operative, just because it's a decent card, it's not bad. And then because there are level 2s in here, play a Gachi, just kind of for stalling, I guess. And because there are level 1s, a Slacker Magician, which is, yeah, it's weird, but once per turn this card cannot be destroyed by battle, which is good for stalling. And when a card or effect is activated that targets the card, you can detach an Ixie material and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it's not a bad card, it's just really random. And for the side deck, I don't have it completed, but I can kind of talk about some cards that I have here. Just some tokens. Royal Decree, I would only play these if you're going to swap out your Macroses, because if you play this and Macros, it would pretty much stop your Macros from working, so I'd only swap out your Macroses for this. Maybe your Torrentials, but this would stop your Macroses. What else? I guess 2 Compulse. It's always a good card to have. You can either play 2 Phoenix Chains or 2 D Prisons. They're both great cards. You can play the combo of them both if you want. Smashing Grounds are great. And you don't play any MSTs in here, so MSTs would be great. one or two effect veilers, DD Crows, just to pretty much like to make sure your opponent gets rid of their Dark Worlds or their Inzectors or anything like their Mermails from the grave. And because you play Cyber Dragons in here, I'd play another Cyber Dragon and a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, just because get rid of all machines pretty much. So that's about it, guys. Tell me what you think. What do you think this deck, is it better than the Frog Monarchs? Do you think it would be the answer to it? Or just any suggestions that make the deck better? This deck completely shuts down any opponent's deck that like runs in the grave. It's pretty much like a Macros Monarch stun deck, I would say, because it's really good at clearing the field and going off attacks. But yep, like I said, just tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks, guys.